Hello, good evening, students and people from our community. I am Professor Jefferson Ferro, speaking from Uninter Garcês in Curitiba. In this Uninter Global Hub event of today, we'll be receiving a very special guest, Tannia Domenzain from EF Education First, talking about best practices in recruitment, what to do, what to avoid, and key tips to stand out. Very nice lecture. I'm very excited about this opportunity. Thank you very much, EF and Tannia. By the way, if you're interested in getting to know more about EF exchange programs and the benefits offered to Uninter students, please visit our webpage at globalhub.uninter.com. There we have more information about EF exchange programs, okay? A couple of reminders before we begin. So this event will be in English only, no translation or subtitles, okay? However, you feel free to interact in Portuguese if you prefer. You can write questions and comments in the chat, and then we will be at the end of the presentation talking about your comments and the questions that you have asked. There will be some time for us to discuss this. Okay. For those of you who want to receive a certificate of participation, you need to register at the link that is in the chat. Do not forget to do that. And after the event, you will receive an email with questions about the event that you need to answer if you want to receive your certificate. Okay? So let me briefly introduce Tannia, and then I will welcome here to our screen. Tannia Domenzain is the Director of People and Culture for the Americas at EF Education First. She's a leading recruitment and employee development across the region. Originally from Mexico, she moved to Brazil to take on this role, bringing over 12 years of experience in various leadership positions, including marketing director, regional sales manager, and country product manager. With a passion for career growth and talent development, Tannia oversees the professional journey of more than 500 employees and deeply understands the evolving job market. As a certified Gallup Strengths coach, she believes the success comes from leveraging what we naturally do best, unlocking potential, and helping people achieve their goals with confidence. So let me welcome here our special guest, Tannia Domenzain. Good evening, Tannia.
Hello. Good evening, Jefferson. Thank you for the invite. I'm very excited.
Wonderful. It's a pleasure to have you here, pleasure and an honor. So thank you very much for this opportunity.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invitation. And every time we have the opportunity to talk to the students, it's one of the things I enjoy the most. So thank you for having us.
Wonderful. So I'll put your presentation here on the screen,
Hmm.
okay? And then you're
Of
free
course.
to start. And then
Perfect.
at the end, I will come back and then we'll talk a little bit about the questions and the comments that we had from the students, okay?
Perfect. Thank you very much.
So
Good.
everybody have a wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Jefferson. Thank you. Well, thank you very much for having me. I am really excited having this time together with you. One of the things, as I told that I enjoy the most is the constant contact with students and people looking maybe for their first job or wanting to understand a little bit more about this working environment. So, as Jefferson told, I was about to present myself, but he said pretty much what I have done within EF. But of course, I am very happy to share this space with you. In this session, we will talk about some very important things that you should consider when looking for a job. Let me just introduce myself a little bit. I've been working at EF for 12 years now. I started my career back in Mexico as product manager. And my main focus was in sales and marketing for one of the products we sell at EF. As you know, we sell language programs abroad, and I was the manager for one of these specific products. Later on, I had the opportunity to lead the marketing team for some years. It was a role that taught me a lot of the business from a very different perspective. And I am really grateful for the opportunities I have had in my career within EF. Then I was asked to return to sales as a sales manager, working for the first time with the LATAM region. It was a very good opportunity to learn how to work with different cultures and profiles. And of course, it took me a while to understand how they work in a different way and how we should adapt and understand what this culture differences mean. Then I was asked to take a role that challenged my previous experiences as I took over for people and culture head for Mexico before this one I have today, taking care of the talent and development initiatives. Nowadays, I took over the same position, but now in charge of the whole Americas region. And it has been great to know the business from different angles, as I told you. And to be, of course, now responsible for the talent development of more than 500 people working at EF. And one of the things I take care of as well is the recruiting, in which I consider myself a little of an expert. So I really hope these little tips can help you in the search of the job of your dreams. So let's begin with the first slide. This is the agenda we're going to cover. We're going to talk about your personal brand, which is very important. We're going to share some examples on how to create your CV. And then we're going to talk about some interviews tips that can help you to get prepared when facing a recruiter. Okay? So let's see. Let's talk about personal brand. When we talk about it, I want you to think about your public reputation. It is the way you want to be perceived. And ideally, you do what is needed to dictate how people create this perception of yours. I want to let you know that you're in control of this perception. So be very smart when you think about the way you work it out. Just think about this quote from Jeff Bezos, which I love. Whenever you think about your personal brand, your brand is what people say about you when you are not in the room. So think about, what do you want them to say about you? Okay. Next. So you might be thinking, if it's all about others, why should I care? And well, when you're hunting for a job, what has been said about you helps you to stand out from the crowd. It makes you special. It makes you different. So it also can lead to opportunities you don't even know you have access to. It, of course, helps you to expand your network. And of course, people who know you and wanting to meet you are the ones who are going to look for you. Just remember, your net worth is your network. As big as it is, you can look for it, you can keep building it. And of course, many more opportunities should appear if you have a big network. So this is part of the job when you are creating your personal brand. Okay. So when you're thinking of you as a brand, and I want you to take it in a good way, a brand, be mindful of what you're selling. When looking for a job, there's nothing more important than the way you sell yourself. And this is the way you present in front of a recruiter. And you experience, I'm pretty sure you have a lot of things to share. You might talk about your unique skills, hard and soft, and we're going to cover this a little bit later. I bet you have a very good work or life history. You might also have work or educational achievements or life experiences that can help you to explain yourself better. What you have studied in the past or what you're currently studying and the qualifications you received, those are the things that really helps in your brand building. And last but not least, your values and personality. This will talk about the person you are as a person. So this all counts in the way we build our personal brand. And let's talk about how to build it, because that's what I want you to create and understand after this presentation. This is a simple exercise that you can do personally, and it can help you to determine how would you like to be defined as. First of all, ask yourself, who do you want to be defined as? Maybe what are you good at? Many examples. It doesn't matter if they are not professional, if they have to do with more with your personal life, but just think about what are you good at. Who is your target audience as well? Who is the people you want to speak to? And once you define this, you can put it all together and, of course, start telling your own story. Whenever you have this story, then you might think if there's any specific moment in which you can promote your brand. And I would say you can do it always. And most of it, you are doing it always. It comes with how you carry yourself daily, how you dress, how you talk and how you communicate, how you present yourself online, because that's another thing that we're creating, like the perception that people can have from us when they look for us online. And if the case, how you present your CV. I say, if the case, if you have already created a CV, this forms part of this personal brand that you are building and that you are creating. So in the current world, it is very, very important to think about your online presence and try to enhance it and make it appealing. You are for sure going to be Googled. So put attention on this. Just look for your name online. Make sure that there's nothing incriminating you. And ask yourself or a friend, if you come across as professional, of course, what is the internet showing about you is really what matters when a recruiter has too many profiles and they are looking for a specific profile as you. So I always say, watch out your social media. We live in a world in which we are very well connected. There's immediate information going everywhere. So be mindful of what you post, what you comment on in social media, because it tells a lot about the person you are. So if you don't want to share your private life, then you can go always as a private profile, and this way you can make sure that you are showing the best part of you, because you're gonna be Googled. I always say so. When talking about LinkedIn, I don't know how many of you have already your LinkedIn profile. LinkedIn is a place where we would go first in case we're looking for candidates. So make sure you stand out. And standing out means, it doesn't mean that you have to have the amazing experience or all the achievements in the world. For me, a profile that stands out, it's organized profile that seems that it has been taken care of, that you have put some time in creating that. There are 1 billion members interested in professional networks. So make sure that if we as a recruiter get directly into your profile, then you're showing what you want to show. Take into consideration that 70% of the employers use this to screen candidates during the recruiting processes. And for you, it becomes an excellent place to find job opportunities as well. It is not only to be shown as a candidate, but for you as an opportunity to actively look for a job. And of course, it is a great place to keep building your network. Remember that you don't know where the opportunity is going to come from. So be mindful every time you have the opportunity to connect with someone else, because I do believe that this is going to help you a lot when looking for a job. So I'm going to share some tips for you to remember when revising your LinkedIn profile. I actually had this video going, but I don't think it's showing. It doesn't matter. You can go directly to my profile. But just for you to be mindful, be active, post things that are relevant to you, and think of the things that might be relevant to your network as well. Every time you're posting, ask yourself who I am trying to reach and what are they interested in. And if whatever I'm posting makes sense with what I want to show. If you don't have content of your own, don't worry. You can post things that are trending, maybe, and go with your profile. Another hint is to comment on posts and always, always respond if someone is commenting yours. Engagement is vital. It also plays a good part in this social media. So keep your profile alive. Then a good thing to remember is to add to your profile the skills you have at the skills section. It's another different section, so make sure you are actually adding your skills there, because this way you're making yourself easier to find in a way. When a recruiting is looking for someone with your skills, then it might be more possible that you show up as a potential candidate. So make sure these skills are well enrolled in your profile. If you're looking for a specific role, for example, then you can look for the skills and keywords that people are using with similar roles and make sure you have them. So you can go directly to read the job description. And if you are interested and you think that you have those skills, make sure that you are actually adding those skills in your profile. So it makes easier to find you. And of course, if you do have them, we don't want you to say any lies here. So if you know and if you feel that you have those skills, just add them to your profile, because this way, with the keywords and specific search that recruiters use to find candidates, it's easier to find this kind of profiles. On the other side, I would say grow your network. Remember the importance of network that I told you before. Here is even more important. Make your profile relevant. Also, people share job opportunities every now and then. So you want to have a large network. Another thing is that mutual connections always look good. If I look for someone and maybe I just run by some candidate I really like, and then I see that I have mutual connections, it makes it more relevant because I know that this person knows people that is already in my network, and it might have the same profile or a similar profile of the people I usually connect with. So don't be afraid to connect with people, to ask for connections, even if you don't know them. You want to be visible. If you feel like it, please look for me and I can happily connect with you, because it is really, really important to have connections that are relevant and that might help you to find opportunities that would come only this way. So make sure and don't be afraid to connect with everyone you want. That's why this social media exists. So don't be afraid to do it. Okay. So then, let's say that you found something really interesting that you want to actively apply, and now it is your chance to show who you are. So let's talk about what happens with our CV. First of all, I want you to lose the fear of not having experience. This happens a lot because when I have the opportunity to talk to students and they are looking for their first job opportunity, they are always saying, yes, but I don't have any experience, and all the job descriptions are looking for experience. I just want you to leave this to another moment. I want you to lose the fear of not having any experience, because I bet that you have more skills than you think. In this case, for example, let's understand some of them. I can read the question and then you answer to yourself, and then the green letters mean the skill that you already have. So What about, have you ever dealt with a customer query or complaint and found a solution? Maybe not a customer, but maybe you dealt with a friend query, or maybe a complaint from your own family member, or a friend. So you had the opportunity to find a solution. This means that you have active listening, because this means that you listen to the problem and then you found a solution based on what you actually listened. So you can put in your CV that you have active listening, because you know how to solve problems when you listen to the problem itself. So another question would be, have you given clear instructions that were understood by your boss, colleague, friend, sister, sibling, mother, or whatever, or whoever you want to put there? Maybe you have been leading some university project, or maybe a teamwork that you had to deliver. So if you had the opportunity to give clear instructions, then you can say you have communication, because if you got these people behind you, of course it can be named as communication. Another question that I would ask you is, are you capable of using basic computer software? Then it means you have IT skills. IT skills because you know the logics behind the software. Because if you know how to work with a computer, then it's easier for you to understand if you have to learn something regarding this. So this is the way you can start developing, or maybe writing down some skills that you don't have to have a professional experience in order to know you have them. Then, for example, have you had good feedback from a customer, from a friend, from a teacher, from a mentor, maybe? Then you can say you have customer service, because if you have had good feedback, someone has been grateful because you helped them to solve something, or you did some task that was helpful for someone, then you can say you have the ability of listen to a customer, and then give the service back. Another question would be, can you easily identify someone's emotion and interact well with people? This can be your best friend, or your partner, or someone you talk to in a regular basis. Then you can say you have interpersonal skills, because you can feel these emotions. You can identify if someone is having a good time or is having a bad time, or maybe you can interact and maybe give some advice. So this would mean that you have interpersonal skills. Another thing, have you ever taken a lead role in something? I think it has to do a lot with the communication, but just imagine you leading a university project, for example, or a task you had to develop and to deliver. So in this case, you can say you have leadership, or maybe you practice some kind of sport, and then you are the one giving instructions, or the one people is following. So in this case, you can say you have this innate leadership skills. Then another question would be, have you ever encountered a difficulty but found an effective way to deal with it? Then you can say you are a problem solver. And problem solver, and we're going to see it later on, but it is one of the skills that we really, really look for nowadays in every job. So just think about an example, and then you can, of course, always elaborate a little bit more, and then you can find that you have these skills already in your profile. So are you good at being on time and prioritizing your tasks? For example, time management, that's another great skill to have. So how good are you at being on time whenever you have to get somewhere, or maybe to prioritize the things that you have to do? These are things that are really, really valuable when looking for a job. And the last one, do you think you could take the things you've learned and use them down different avenues? Then you have transferable skills. This means that you have learned some things and some skills that you are using in another way, and you're using in another task, or even you're using it in another part of your life. These transferable skills means that you understand whatever you're learning, and you are able to apply those learnings in another part of your life. And this is another thing that we value a lot when we are looking for soft skills. So, just for you to understand that you might have more skills than you think, and it is important for you to really own them and understand the importance of identifying them. Then let's talk about hard skills and soft skills, because it's very important for you to understand the difference between both of them. We need both. Every single profile, every single person needs both. The current job search game has to balance both as well. Nowadays, soft skills are very, very well valued. And maybe if we think back in the days, we were more focused in the hard skills. But let me talk about a little bit of that. The hard skills are the ones you need to complete for a very specific job. For example, those are the qualifications or skills that can be proved. So think about a driving license and specific IT software use, a foreign language, because these are very specific requisitions that a job needs for you to be able to deliver it. These are the hard skills, okay? And then we have the soft skills, which are non-technical, and they demonstrate how you work with others or how you solve problems, which is more interesting and more important. So you don't need any professional experience to prove you have them. I can read here that someone, Marcio, I really need to improve my soft skills. It is easy, but you have to be aware that you have to improve them. So every time you make this more conscious, then you get the chance to work on them every time you feel the need to. So in this case, the first step is just to be conscious that we need these soft skills, because these are the ones who are going, maybe, and I will say maybe, if you're looking for your first job, these are the ones who are gonna mean the most, because these are the ones you have experienced all your life, instead of the hard skills that you just gained, for example, with a career. But then, of course, the soft skills are coming with how you behave, how you think, the logics you use to solve problems. So it is very important for you to be aware of this, because this is something that we really take into consideration. Now we're going to take a look at some types of errors on the CVs. Remember that our recruiter will have hundreds of them. We screen a lot of CVs. So you want to make it easy for the recruiter to understand our profile, fast and easy. That's what we ask for you to really think about when you're creating a CV. So I don't know if you can see here, and maybe you can spot some of the things that might be wrong in this CV, so we can talk about it, and then I'm gonna show them to you. So I'm gonna share with you what I see whenever I am screening a CV. So if you spot something, let me know. Otherwise, I can go forward and see if you spot them, because I don't know if it is the image is clear and you can see what I am trying to explain. I'm gonna give 10 seconds more if someone can spot something that you would change, maybe, and or that you feel that this CV is not in the best shape that it should be. Okay, so I I will put my soft skills in my CV too. Now I know that I should, of course, Ana Carolina, you should put them, because that's the way we can know a bit more about you, and to imagine the profile you are. So I'm gonna go directly. People still using photos at CVs. It is completely optional, Marcio. They use them, but it's completely optional. I mean, I never have a great answer for this, because I always say, if you feel to, you do it. But nowadays, for us recruiters, it is not that important. So if you feel like it, just do it. The stars qualifying the skills. Yes, exactly. That's one of the Denner. Thank you very much. This is one of the errors, the most common errors. I won't say errors, but these are kind of things that might be improved, and I'm going to show you now how it works. Yeah. So let's see. Of course, spelling mistakes. As you can see, education, it's education, so it's a spelling mistake. No mobile number. We don't have the mobile number here, so we cannot contact this person unless we write him or her an email, or look for them at their Instagram, which I do not recommend. You can put, of course, your LinkedIn profile, but we don't want to see any Instagram there. Maybe we will look for it and we will Google you later on, but not putting it in the CV unless you are actually selling that you have that whatever you want to show, it's in your Instagram. The qualifications, of course, dates, for example. I don't know if you see it clear, but it's the other way around. It says 2016 to 2018, but then 27 present. So it doesn't make sense, the dates. The duties, because we don't have any clear idea of the things that that this person was doing. These quantifying skills, the stars, it doesn't tell anything. So totally, it's a CV with a lot of information that doesn't directly apply to the job. A waste of time. Okay. I can answer that question later on, but you can keep that question and you can come back with it, Victor, please. So the skills, of course, you don't have to put how many stars, or if you are good, medium, or bad in this. It's just like, if you have the skills, you have them. We don't want to know if you have 1, 2, or 3 stars. Oversharing, because here in the About Me, it says a lot of things that, well, seeing my mom every Thursday at 11 a.m., it's oversharing. We don't, it is not relevant for what we're looking for. And the formatting, of course, remember to make it easier for the recruiter. Let's see here the difference. Here's where we find mistakes that are really relevant for a recruiter, as they show how much of attention and quality you put on the things you do. So remember, this is about how you are introducing yourself. This is your introduction letter for someone who doesn't know you. So now that we have the comparisons of these two CVs, here's how different a CV may look with some attention to detail. So if you can see here, the skills are not rated in number of stars. So it says what you have as a skill, so that's enough. Then of course we don't have the mistakes in the way they write. Then the work experience makes sense because the dates are in chronological order, and then of course we get to see what you were doing in these specific roles. So that way we can definitely define or imagine your profile, and making sure if you are going or not to fit with the position we're looking for. So these are very, and as you see the format here, I highly recommend your expertise area, or your area of expertise is really clear whenever you are showing your name. As you can see in this CV, you can see Itsuki Takahashi, software engineer. So we know the area of expertise of this person, so it is easier for us to understand why or what is he trying to sell. Okay. So just in a nutshell, let's talk about some tips you should consider when writing your resume. Explain easily what your responsibilities are or were in the previous experience you had. Link these responsibilities to achievements always. It shows a clear delivery of results. These responsibilities, how can they connect to the achievements you presented? So I think that's really important, because this way we know that you are actually delivering what is expected from you. Then use keywords, read some profiles in LinkedIn, maybe look for people you look up to and how they explain their own profiles. That might be like a good idea on how you create yours. Please don't do it in more than 2 pages. It's very hard for us to see a resume that comes in more than 2 pages. I would say ideally 1. But if you have a lot of experience, then you can use 2, but not more than that. Then make sure it is updated. Be mindful of the dates. We need to know exactly what you were doing within the last years, and that these dates make sense. Add hobbies. The hobbies are really good because they show part of your soft skills as well. So in this case, it's the way you're presenting yourself. And most important, ask someone you trust to proofread. Very, very important, because that's the way you're gonna maybe spot some mistakes or something that you are using there that might not be that good. So ask someone you really trust, maybe 2 or 3 people, and see if they are getting what you are trying to explain. I can come back with these questions, so we can just like finish this presentation, but I just saw 2 very good questions that I can definitely answer at the end. But I'm gonna I just want to continue with this, so we don't skip anything. Is that okay with you? So now, what happens when we actually applied for the job? We now have an interview set up for with a recruiter. So I would divide this in 3. So the preparation. You practice answering questions. You don't want to be listened or to relate to a robot, of course not. But practice answering questions. You can look, Google some relevant questions when you are in job interviews. That's the beauty of the era we are living in. We have access to a lot of information. So put yourself in front of a mirror, practice answering questions, because the more you gain confidence in what you're saying, the more comfortable you're gonna look and you're gonna feel. So in this case, it's not for you to be very prepared robotically to answer questions, but it is for you to gain confidence on how you express yourself. Always reread the job description. And why is that? Because you want to make sure that whatever you're sharing with the recruiter is relevant for the position you're applying to. So just make sure to find some examples in your professional past experience or in your personal life that can relate with what the job is looking for. Then one important thing, always research the company. Read about what people say about the company, what the company does. Maybe you can Google, or you can look for the recruiter in LinkedIn, so you know who you're gonna talk to, because it's really, really nice whenever you are sitting down with someone who knew this from the beginning. So it's a very good tip to find this connection with the person that is interviewing you. So this is something we value a lot. Dress properly, of course. You want to present yourself in the best possible way, so you have to feel comfortable, you have to be you, but just be mindful of of how are you dressing for this occasion. It's better. I say that it's always better to be overdressed than underdressed. So in this case, if you feel like you want to really make sure you are you're sharing whatever you feel you are, yeah, you can be elegant, you can be casual, but you have to feel comfortable with that. Okay. And then be on time always. It's better for you to arrive half an hour, 15 minutes, 20 minutes before the interview, because most of the times when we are in a recruiting process, we have the agenda and the slots like very, very identified, and it's very we're stretching a lot our agenda. So it is really, really, we feel really grateful whenever someone is on time, because we can start, and this is a good way for you to show how professional you might be. Then during the interview, please, you are in the interview, you don't have to do anything within the interview. Just relax, smile, enjoy the process. It doesn't matter if it's your first interview, just make sure you are enjoying that moment, because it doesn't matter the outcome, you're going to learn something. So make sure you breathe deeply, and then you come into the room with a smile, and you're going to enjoy to share yourself, to show yourself in an honestly way. Always answer honestly, and of course keep calm. It's a really nice moment to connect with the people you're speaking to. If nerves show up, it can be that you really feel nervous or anxious. You share it. You can say, exactly, Marcio, this is for you, how to deal with anxiety at an interview. You share it. You can say, excuse me, I just want to share, I am really nervous, I am really anxious about being here, but I will do my best. I will try to enjoy this interview, but just for you to be mindful that I am nervous, because this is my first interview, because this is not the place in which I feel the most confident. But it's better when you show this and you come up honestly, rather than just showing that you're nervous and anxious, and then you are not showing the best part of you. So just feel free to share it with your counterpart, because I really appreciate that in many ways. And that way, in my case, I try to find another way to connect with this person, and of course to take out this person I want to know whenever they feel less nervous or less anxious. So share it. Then always pick two things that you want to share. It happens that you enter the room and you are just waiting for the questions to come, but if you come in advance prepared with two things you really want to share, because they have to do with the job description, they have to do with the previous experience that you have and you want to share, make sure that you have them and that you deliver them in the conversation. So this is for you to make sure that whenever you go out of that room, you feel confident that you shared what you wanted to, and you were not just sitting down waiting for the questions to come. So this is very important for your confidence, okay? And then always make sure you know the next steps. It is really, really nice when you go out of the room knowing what to expect after the interview. So you are, I mean, you have to know. So if the recruiter is not telling you, you can always ask, hey, what are the next times I should expect? Or maybe if we know the timeline, that way you wouldn't be waiting for an answer in a time in which you don't know if they're gonna come back to you in a day, or maybe in a week, or maybe this is a longer process and maybe they are going to come to you after a month. So it is very important for you to be sure that you know the process and that you know what to expect after it. And this is a tip, another thing during the interview. Whenever you have the opportunity to ask questions, it is always nice to ask, why is this person working for this company, for example? This can give you a really good idea of what is happening within the company, and if there's something that can relate with what you're expecting. So this way you can create a better connection, and it's another way to really understand a little bit more about the company you're applying to. Okay. And then what happens? This is the third step after the interview. So always write a thank you email. If you don't have the email, you can call the company and maybe ask it in the front desk, or maybe you can look at LinkedIn and see if there's or you can write the thank you message through LinkedIn, but it is always nice to know that this candidate is really into the process, and it shows that you are interested. So always thank you email makes a very, very good approach to follow up on the process. Then what happens if you haven't heard back from them? Follow up. You are in your right to call, to write an email, to write in LinkedIn, just for you to know what is happening with the recruitment process. It is your right to know if you're still in the process, or maybe they have taken a decision, but for you to be completely confident on this, then if you're not receiving information from them, follow up from your side. Then, of course, if you found out, if you get notice that you have not been chosen in this process, ask for feedback. This is a tool for learning. Remember that it happens with the experience. The more times you do interviews, the more confident you get to the next one. So if the recruiter can share the feedback on why you were not chosen, it is a really nice gift to receive. So I would always ask for feedback and the reasons on why I wasn't chosen, because that way I can try to improve, or maybe to show in the next interview that I might have something that they didn't notice on me. So I think that feedback is very important. And then, of course, trust the process, rehearse, become an expert on this, be confident. The right job is going to show up. I don't have a doubt. But in this case, you have to be very confident on exactly what you learned from this experience. And as a bonus slide, I want to tell you the most in-demand skills of 2025. So these are the skills that recruiters are really looking for in this 2025. These are trending, and these are some kind of skills that you might start to develop in terms of whatever you're looking for. So communication, adaptability, leadership, problem solving, critical thinking, and data analysis. These are the ones that are really, really important. And just to wrap it up, I always say that one of the best things that you can consider a good opportunity for you to develop all these skills is to try always something new, to get out of your comfort zone and live new experiences that can challenge you in a daily basis. So I always say that one of the best things you can do to yourself is to look for the opportunity to go abroad and experience, of course, firsthand the challenge of meeting a new culture, and of course, face things you don't even know you can solve or achieve. And so, if you want to talk to someone who can help you with this in this company, the company I work for in EF, of course, I highly recommend to scan this QR code or go directly to the Bitly that we have there, and then yeah, we can always help you with that. So that's from my side. I don't know if we have time for some questions, but
Sure.
I can see Jefferson here. Good.
When you mentioned that you had some bonus tips, I just jumped in, you know. I
Amazing.
want to take
Amazing.
advantage of that, very precious information. Thank you
Yeah.
so much, Tanya. Wonderful presentation. I mean, we have a lovely audience here today, many students asking questions and participating and networking, right?
Yeah.
And I know that you spoke about that one of the greatest concerns for college students is that they usually tell you, well, how can I prepare a nice CV, a nice LinkedIn if I do not have much experience, right?
Yeah.
And I think Larissa made an interesting question in that way, talking about this. She wrote, "How can a student build a strong personal brand without much practical experience?" Could you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. As I always say, the experience that you already have is enough for you to show a personal brand. The thing and the skills you have to have and to consider, of course, is the way you're going to present them. So in this case, as I am telling you, these are the most in demand skills. So maybe you have some experience or examples on how you have developed these skills within your personal life. um, Nowadays, of course, we're working with a completely different workforce. We as companies have to adapt to this new generation, which is moved from very very different places. Now, for example, the purpose, the people are looking for companies or jobs that mean something. So in this case, for example, you can always show why you are interested on this, and maybe you have some experience in many school tasks. You can go back to some projects you have worked with. Maybe, I don't know, if you work in an ONG, maybe, or you are voluntary in something, or you lead a team of sports, or you have been, I don't know. I mean, there are so many things you can put in a CV, and it is not only for people who have a previous experience. It's just how the way you show to the world who you are. So if you are going to build a LinkedIn profile, for example, then you have to make sure that you're putting there and you repost thing and you create content because you want to show the world who you are, without any professional experience. But these are the skills. I mean, we believe more in people that can learn hard skills rather than learn the soft skills. The soft skills are coming with you. So these are the ones you have to focus on, especially when you don't have a professional experience. But I would say that they are as important as the hard skills as well.
That's why it's so important to have different experiences in life in general,
Yeah,
right? Be
of
it in
course.
sports, in traveling, in learning new things. This
Everything.
builds up your soft skills, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was Maria Victoria who asked. She mentioned one thing which I think is kind of related to this. you mentioned that sometimes people can mention their hobbies in their CVs.
Hmm.
And she said it, well, it feels a little bit strange in Brazil. It's not very customary for Brazilian people to mention their hobbies in their CVs. Do you think there is a difference, a cultural difference in this aspect?
I think so. I think, of course, I mean, cultural differences are everywhere. It might feel that you are oversharing a bit of your of your personal way of spending time. But on the other side, what I would say with hobbies, it's more like I want to know you as a person. And especially, I am working in an international company, so I get the opportunity to see and to screen CVs from all over. So in this case, whenever we're looking for someone that might fit with the profile we're looking for, um, it's really easy to imagine this person working at our company if they share what they do. Because, for example, one of the things that we look for the most, it's the drive in a person, the drive, the what makes you alive, what takes you out of bed every morning. So the drive comes with the passion that you feel doing something else. So I am always asking, what is exactly the thing that you can do without getting paid for? Because that's the way I can feel that this person has an internal drive, and it doesn't matter if he or she doesn't have any experience in these hard skills, but I can make sure that she or he is going to do whatever is possible to get the job done. So in this case, I would highly recommend, and especially if you are applying to an international company, I would really encourage you to add your hobbies, the ones you feel more comfortable with, of course. But I think that's a good way to know people from another angle.
Wonderful. Yes, Danner mentioned, right, that if we pay attention to ourselves, we'll notice several soft skills, right? I think you pretty much made this point.
Exactly,
And
exactly.
I
Because
don't
it
know
happens
if
every day at every time. But these soft skills are coming with everything. So examples you have, just dive deep into them, so you can actually explain them when you have the opportunity to talk to a recruiter.
sure. And well, João was asking if there's one big skill that we could concentrate on. You mentioned you spoke a lot about soft skills, and now you just mentioned the drive, right? The thing that gets
Yep.
us that helps us get up in the morning. So, I
I
mean,
would say, if I have to choose one of them, of course these six are the most important ones for this year. But I would say that adaptability, it has to do a lot with the world we're living in today. We have to be prepared to be adaptable, and if something is changing, just to make sure that we are flexible enough to pivot and just turn our head to the other side, and just like try to do our best with the things we have in front of us. So I think that adaptability might be one of the ones we have to, um, and to feel comfortable with the uncomfort. It's more like uncomfort is going to be everywhere. So how can I work with this special skill, which is named adaptability, because I need to feel comfortable with the things that are uncomfortable. And I don't know if I am explaining myself, but in specifically in the world we are living nowadays, I think that adaptability and flexibility could be very, very relevant, for the positions we're looking nowadays.
so Anna helped us wrap it
Exactly.
up, right?
If you don't change, you
So
could become extinct totally. And I think it is very relevant for today's world.
wonderful. Well, our time's up. So I have to thank you so much, Tanya, and to all people at EF Education First. It was a wonderful presentation, great insight to our students, right? And so thank you so much. It was wonderful.
Thank you very much for having us. We really, really enjoy these moments when speaking with the students. So feel free to contact us, to write me, connect with me in LinkedIn, and we can continue the conversation there.
I'm sure you already have some new fans on your LinkedIn page. Okay.
Let's connect there. Super happy to.
So thank you very much, everybody, for joining us tonight. Congratulations on your efforts to communicate in English. I know that many of you are studying English, are trying to move on and get better every day. So it was wonderful to have you here participating. And as I mentioned before in the beginning of the presentation, if you registered through the link that I shared, you will receive an email with questions about the event. And after answering these questions, you will have access to the certificate of participation. Thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Tannia,
Thank
and
you.
hope to see you again soon.
Of course, anytime. Thank you very much for having me. Bye
Bye-bye.
bye. Ciao.